Do you know what a narcissist is? Girl, go and Google. Okay, so it's also basically like someone who has a grandiose self-image about who they are. Do you know grandiosity? Go and add that and Google it. I'm not here to tell you everything. Hi, how are you doing? If it's your first time joining us, you are on the right page. And if you're a returning subscriber, you are on the best page and you are our favorite person. So today we are going to learn about boundaries, like put a stop and draw a line where no one needs to cross. And so 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strikes, and the person is out. So ladies, if you do not know what boundaries are, if you just allow anyone walk into your life, do anything to you anyhow, disrespect, disvalue, and make you feel irrelevant, it's time for you to know the traits of boundaries and the types of boundaries for you to create a personal boundary. So today, that is what we are going to learn. However, I want you to know that we depend on you in order to monetize our page. Kindly do well to subscribe or like if you haven't, and share our videos. Remember to watch them to the full length and comment. Any questions you have, if it's private, make sure you inbox it and we will attend to you. Stay tuned. And guess what? Today I have something exciting for you. Like I said in my intro video, it's about personal boundaries. I know a lot of us have been stepped on, without us knowing what our boundaries are, right? So today I just want to bring it to your notice what boundaries are and how to protect them, and also to value other people's boundaries and not cross their boundaries. It's the same way. If you know yours, you would try to live up to them so that you respect yours and respect other people. And you also get to know when someone is crossing your line and when you are also crossing someone's line. So today it's about personal boundaries. If you ask me what personal boundary is, I'll tell you that it is simply the rules or the limitations that we set for ourselves for people not to cross. Okay, so if you have never had any rule in your life, if you've never had any limitation, like no, I cannot take this, it means you've never had a boundary. Like literally everything just goes inside and come out. Now what I want you to understand is that it is okay, you can say no to what you do not like by knowing first of all what boundary you are in, and even saying no to that person, you can still open up for other parts of your relationship. That's all because you know your boundaries and you are willing to protect them, protect yourself, and improve on the relationship. It's simply as that. So boundaries help us to protect and promote or build our relationships. Okay, now there are 3 traits of personal boundaries. Let's look into them. First of all, we have the rigid boundary, the porous boundary, and the healthy boundary. So first of all, let's go through the characteristics of people who have rigid boundaries. Okay, so number 1, people who have rigid boundaries tends to avoid intimacy and close relationships. They are always on their own. They want their space. They are kind of like isolated. They don't want to be involved in anything like a relationship. And if you can tell, it's always hard for you to be friends with them because they want to be by themselves. Number 2, these individuals are unlikely to ask for help. Sometimes they think that asking for help is a sense of weakness. Okay, so they just want to do everything by themselves, even if they cannot, if they are not in the right setting or the right mood or even in the right health, they still want to do whatever that they want to do because they won't ask you for help. You can see them suffering and you don't want to help them, and they would say, no, I'm okay. Number 3, they have few friendships or relationships. Okay, so people with rigid boundaries would just want to keep close to the people they already know, like say old schoolmates or just family members or even work colleagues for the number of years. They find it hard forming new relationships or friendships. Number 4, they are very protective of personal information. You can ask them to know more about them and they would just give you less of the information that you need. For example, you can ask them, please, where do you work and what exactly do you do? They can just tell you that I work at MTN, and that's okay. They don't want to go deeper into telling you what they do or the staff hierarchy they are or the position they hold. No, they don't like it sharing personal information. They are very economic when it comes to sharing personal information. Number 5, they seem detached even in romantic relationships. Okay, so these are the kind of people, they are like they are in or they are not in, that kind of thing. They don't want to be too involved. They don't want to show you their vulnerability. They are just like, they don't care but they do care, you know, those kind of people. Yes, and most of the times they make you confused whether they are in it or they are not in it. So people with rigid kind of boundary or personal boundary tend to be detached from their relationships. I hope you are understanding and following up these kind of traits. All right. Number 6, they keep people at a distance because of the fear of rejection, disappointment, heartbreak, betrayal. You know, they don't want you to come into their life and then get to know who they are and still betray them or make them feel sad or regret the fact that they made a decision to get to know you. So there are 6 traits of people who have a rigid personal boundary. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our second trait of personal boundary. Okay, so the second trait is porous personal boundary, and there are about 6 characteristics of individual who falls within this scope. Okay, so number 1 is the overshare information about themselves. You just need to ask them, what is your name? And then you get a whole description of who they are. People with low self-esteem tend to do this a lot because they don't want to feel as if they are not doing much or they are not doing too less. So they just haphazardly share information about them. So ladies, you only answer accordingly. If it is what's your name, you just give what your name is. You don't go over, you don't give less. Okay, number 2 is that they find it difficult to say no to people. Have you ever said yes in a situation you know, I am not capable, like I truly don't want to, I just cannot, but then you still say yes, either because you want to please them or you want to conform or you want to fit in, or all kinds of reasons, you know, but someone with a healthy boundary will not do this. Number 3 is the fact that they over-involve themselves in people's problems, like they are in people's business. It's not as if it's gossip, no, but then even when you don't need them, they come. When you don't ask them, they want to. And when you have a problem, they just want to know the ins and outs of that problem. Whom are you calling? Whom are you talking to? What are you doing? What food are you eating? What are you wearing? What? All kinds of questions. People with poor personal boundary want to be in people's businesses. It's not a good attitude, ladies. A classy woman don't care about other people's business. You know, they are so busy involved in their own things that they don't even have the time to check on what others are even going through. You get what I mean? Number 4, they are dependent on the opinions of others. Like I told you, it's like people with porous personal boundaries actually have a low self-esteem, if I may say so, or if it is so, because they depend on people's opinions. Even when you ask them, what will you eat? They don't even know what they want to eat. What will you drink? Where should we go? If a gentleman takes them out, they cannot even decide anything for themselves. Ladies, you need to stop this. Get to know what you want, what you like, and communicate it. Okay, you should know the food you like when you go to a restaurant, the drink you want, the dress you want to wear, the hairdo you want to. Do not wait for others to tell you what to do before you do it. You are an adult. An adult in our society means you are matured and responsible to take account of your own life. Number 5, they are accepting of abuse or disrespect. It's very difficult for someone with poor personal boundaries stand up for themselves, no matter the gravity of the abuse or the length or frequency of the disrespect. They'll continue to take it because they don't have a line. Like I told you, personal boundaries are the sets of rules or limitations that we guide our life with. And someone who has a poor personal boundary, they don't even know when they are disrespected or what it is to be disrespected or even abused. Even if they know, they cannot even stand up to those kinds of people. And lastly, the fear of rejection if they do not comply. Yes, poor personal boundaries, whatever you ask them to do, they will do it. So ladies, have you found yourself in these 6 characteristics? If you do, you need to scale up, because that is why people would always keep disrespecting you. People will keep not valuing who you are, and they'll treat you anyhow you want. You get it? But if you up your game and you see the effects of having a poor or porous personal boundary, then you can change. Lastly, we have a healthy boundary, okay? And this is my favorite, mostly because I know that I work well around this, and you, when you hear them, you can understand what I mean. Number 1, an individual with a healthy personal boundary values their own opinions. Oh yes, girl, they do value their own opinions, because you know what? they have the self-confidence and high self-esteem to believe that whatever they are thinking about is for their own good. So these are the people who would go through the length to conceptualize or analyze their thoughts. They want evidence for or evidence against. They will have an alternative thoughts, and they would want to ask people, and look, they want to go all the way out to really find the best in their thoughts or their opinions, and they stick by them because they value who they are. They will not just give up their opinions or values just because you don't agree with them. Yes. Number 2 of a healthy boundary. You do not compromise to the value of others. You do not compromise your values for others. Exactly. Values are values. Values are like your identity. Values are like your personality. It's who you are generally. Like literally, you are your values. You are your set of standards or principles or convictions. And so you will not compromise them just because you want to fit in the club or you want to fit in the clique. No, you don't do that. You maintain your values, you hold them in high esteem, and then you walk by them. So don't compromise your values. Number 3, they share their information in an appropriate way, not over and not less. For example, you ask them, what is your name? They tell you, my name is Ophelia Boma Azure. That is it. Not much, not less. You ask and you get what you ask. Ladies, do you get me? So they will not overshare, they will not undershare. They're always on the edge and intentional with their questions and how they want to answer questions. And because they don't speak from their head, they speak from their heart, they are able to follow up what they are saying. They don't just say fleeting words in the space. They don't do that. They actually follow up what they say, and they make sure that it's given in an appropriate way. Number 4, they know their personal needs and wants, and they are able to communicate them in a clear language. They don't say yes when it is no. They don't say no when it is yes. They are always telling people what they want, how they want it, what they need, and whatsoever. They don't just mix up words and go through the bush or go around the bush. No, they know what they want and they communicate it exactly that way. Number 5, and the last characteristics of a healthy boundary, they are accepting when people say no to them. They don't fight them. They don't make them feel that they don't blackmail them. In short, they don't blackmail them. They agree, and they even further their communication. And it's the same way. If you say no to somebody and the person mistreats you, or the person's just, kind of like end the relationship, it means that they are trying to cross your boundary. Do you get it? And so if someone also says no to you, do not get angry. You should agree that you don't want to cross another person's healthy boundary. So as you know your boundaries, you are able to respect other people's boundaries. Now, there are facts of knowing your personal boundaries. Okay, number 1 fact is that people tend to use the 3 of these traits depending on the setting. Some people can have porous boundaries in the family. Of course, brothers and sisters, mothers, uncles, people can just compromise and lay low. Others can also have rigid personal boundaries at the work side because you want everything to go directly. You are very strict, you are disciplined, you don't want to keep unnecessary relationships around at work. And others can also use healthy boundaries exactly in their relationships. Okay, because if you're in a relationship with someone, you would want to value them, you would want to accept who they are, you would want to work according to their needs and wants so that you don't disrespect them. All right, so it depends on the varying settings. You can decide to use what and where. Also, number 2, it depends on our culture. Some places you can hug and kiss, and it's a normal lifestyle. It's not the same in your area. For example, in Ghana, it's fine to give a handshake. However, in other places, you don't just give a handshake, you just stand back. Or even in other Western countries, you give a kiss or you hug and all of those things. So boundaries can mix up in wherever that you are, whoever that you are, depending also on your personality, depending again on how you were brought up, and all those factors contributing to who you truly are. But whatever that it is, you have to use your boundaries appropriately as and when is needed of which boundary to use. Okay, now let's go further to the types of boundaries. Now this is what I would like to encourage ladies to listen attentively. I'm sure that you are writing what I'm saying. If you have not, kindly pause this video, start over again, and build on your boundaries. You need to write these things down so that you can revise them later. Now, the types of boundary, first of all, talks about the physical boundary. Physical boundaries are actually just two characteristics, okay? Your personal space and your physical touch. And a healthy physical boundary includes the awareness of what is appropriate or not, depending on the setting and the type of relationship. Like who is allowed to hug you or hold you or kiss you or handshake you. Okay, now a violated physical boundary could be the fact that somebody touching you inappropriately where you do not want, or somebody invading your space where you have not invited them. So you have to be intentional about who you allow into your personal space. For example, your home. If you do not invite this gentleman and he just comes and stands by your door, he's calling you, please, I'm here, come and open the door for me, and you just go and open the door. Come on, you're not protecting that personal boundary. You have to give consent to somebody before they are allowed to do anything. It's also important for you to know if someone breaks your physical boundary, it is also another step for the person to break the other boundaries. So start by protecting your personal space and your physical touch. And physical touch is mainly your body. All right. Number 2 is intellectual boundaries. It's about your thoughts and your ideas, in short. So a healthy intellectual boundaries is the fact that you are aware and you respect other people's opinions or ideas and thoughts in the same way as someone respects your ideas and your thoughts. So for example, in a relationship, what are you allowed to discuss? Are you allowed to discuss about your school, about your politics, about your future? And does your boyfriend listen to you? There are some people that don't want to listen to you, and because of this, they hardly engage in any conversation with you. Now, intellectual boundaries are violated when someone belittles you or dismisses your thoughts and ideas. And you can find this in many relationships. Like the gentleman, is he a gentleman? Your boyfriend or whoever he is does not listen to you, whatever that you have to say. They don't care. It's like they'll just ask you for reference sake, but they go ahead and do what they want to do. They don't care how you want to plan about your vacation or the money or buying a car or buying the land or building a house. They just want to do everything by themselves. And we find this a lot in relationships. Many men just want to be entitled by their opinion, by their thoughts, by their ideas, and whatever the lady says, they don't listen. Lady, are you listening to me, girl? Beautiful, wonderful girl, are you listening to me? Now, if you're in a relationship, okay, and your boyfriend or you're in courtship, he doesn't listen to you, he barely discusses anything with you, and even if you do have a discussion, the communication doesn't end well because he belittles your ideas, he belittles and devalues your thoughts because he doesn't respect what you have to say. That is not a healthy relationship, okay? Because as you're growing in your partnership, you would need each other's thoughts and ideas. You need to respect what each other has to say. You will also have to see to it that every idea and opinion from each of you is important, and so it must be balanced, right? So now you know intellectual boundaries. If you didn't know, now you know that they are your thoughts and your ideas, and it is violated when someone dismisses you or devalues or belittles those thoughts and ideas. Number 3 are emotional boundaries. And emotional boundaries are simply your feelings. Anything you feel is an emotion. And so there are ways to protect this emotion. And there's a boundary. There needs to be a boundary so that you can have a healthy emotion, or what we call emotional hygiene. Emotional boundaries includes when to share and when not to share an information. Like, are you ready to share this information or not? It is not nice that you are not ready for a certain discussion and then you are forced into discussing that. For example, if you are starting a relationship and you are in the talking stage, there are some men, I don't even know why they ask that, but they have something they call body count. You know what body count is, girls? You know, right? So if you do not know, it's merely a question about how many men you have dated and slept with. I don't even know why they ask that. But if you are not in the right emotion to discuss that, you can tell them, you can tell him, I'm not ready to discuss this. I'm not comfortable to open this up. You can simply, dismiss that without having to comply. You don't have to. Now, an emotional boundary is violated when someone devalues, criticizes, invalidate or belittle your feelings. Do you know what gaslight is? Gaslighting. If you don't know, go to Google. Girl, I'm not here to teach you everything. So go to Google and read about gaslighting. All right. So gaslighting, I'll just explain it. It's when someone actually invalidates your feelings as a result of your reaction to their action. Okay, so for example, they can cause an emotion of you being sad or you being angry, and they say, come on, you are overly sensitive. I didn't mean this. Why are you acting like this? Something small and you just go overboard. You see, they don't want to take responsibility that their action is the reason why you are feeling the way you are feeling. Okay, or even they can say, oh, you are a spoiled brat, you come from a rich home, so everything I say you just take it seriously, you want to be pampered, you are a spoiled girl or spoiled lady. A lot of people who gaslight are actually narcissists. Okay, so narcissists, do you know what a narcissist is? Girl, go and Google. Okay, so it's also basically like someone who has a grandiose self-image about who they are. Do you know grandiosity? Go and add that and Google it. I'm not here to tell you everything. So actually, they feel so entitled about themselves. They don't even care about your feelings or whatever that you're going through. They always want to overdo. They always want to be the people in the center of everything. So if you find yourself in a relationship where somebody invalidates your feelings, they belittle you and they make you feel that it is your fault you are acting the way you do, that is someone really crossing your emotional boundary. Girls, are we learning? Are we living? Are we laughing? Are we loving our lives? Yes, we have to know this so that we can protect our sanity. We can find ourselves the best relationships in life, but we don't have to settle for less. Never, we don't have to. Number 4 is sexual boundaries, and this refers to your emotion, your intellectual and physical sense of sexuality. Okay, so your sexual boundaries are simply the fact that you have the right to consent. There should be a mutual understanding of you engaging in any sexual activity. All right, and I just want to pass this information to ladies. Okay, the fact that a lot of you can actually take trotro or bicycle or keke or okada and go all the way to the man's house. Now, a lot of times you have to understand that going over to his house, it is his space. He is comfortable in his space to act the way he wants. All right. And so when you go there, he feels that as you have come over to my place, then I have to do what I want to do with you. I always advise that if you truly know him and you trust him, that's okay. But if you don't stress all the way to go to his house, because he will touch you. He will do what he wants. He will mistreat you because you are in his space. But the best thing is to let him rather come to you, because you are a lady, and you being in your own space also give you the strength and the command or authority over your space. He would even be scared to come over to your house and wanting to touch you or disrespect your physical touch, like we spoke about in physical boundaries. Okay, he won't do that. He dares not. But we have to be careful as ladies. A man who doesn't understand the limitations of your sexual boundaries is not a man to be around with. Because it's like, whether you are ready or not, he just wants to have a sexual gratification. It does not matter that you are in a relationship. If he still is touching you places you don't want, making you want to do things you don't want, pressuring you to engage in sexual acts, leering. Do you know what leering is? Go to Google and search for leering. Or passing sexual comments to you that you do not want. This is a sexual violated boundary. Ladies, are we learning? Yes, I have taught you about these types of boundaries for you to know where you stand in whatever setting or whatever relationship is needful. Now we have the 5th boundary. Material boundaries refers to your possessions and money. So a healthy material boundary is mainly about what you decide to share with who. Is it your money? Is it your possession? What it is, your phone is a possession, right? And so if you're in a relationship, no one has to just take it away from you without you willingly giving it to them. Okay, so it could be a trespass of boundary if your husband-to-be just takes your phone, or kind of like want to set up an IT software that will mirror everything you're doing on your phone, as in like violate your privacy and all of those things, it is not good. That is a violated material boundary. It's the same way some men do not like it when you go to their space and you keep changing things around, shifting things around. No, you should also have a personal, you should also have your material boundary protected, whereby no one can come into your space and start picking your things up, wearing your things over the place, shifting things around. No, you would have to maintain a healthy material boundary so that no one violates them. It doesn't matter who they are. You should have a healthy material boundary. Boundaries can also be violated when someone damages your possession, or when someone steals them or pressure you to give it to them, or in short, just spoils them. Okay, so it's not nice. You have to know, and when your material possessions are being violated, you can put a stop to that. And now the fifth type of the personal boundary is time boundary. Yes, there's time boundary. If you didn't know, now I'm telling you. And this actually refers to how you allocate your time, whether to work, relationships, your personal life, and your hobbies. It also means how you use your time. So if you're a lady and you don't have a good time management, guess what? You are going to be violated a lot of time. It's like someone says, let's go for a date, and like you choose your favorite restaurant and they make you go and wait 30 minutes, 1 hour. You are sitting there. Why? Is it because of the food you will eat? Ladies, have some kind of class. Someone who makes you waste your time for up to 10 minutes waiting, no, be on your way. Let them know that you use your time wisely, okay? And the first time you allow them waste your time, they're going to do it again. Trust me, they're going to do it again. So ladies, let's learn to value our time, and let's allocate our time for our work. If you are at work, you are at work. If you're home, you're home. If it is self-care, you're on your self-care. If it's your relationship, you can give your time for your relationship. However, a healthy time boundary is violated when somebody keeps demanding for you all the time, calling you, bugging you, just kind of like destabilizing your time. Okay, and it's the same way. If you don't have a time management, somebody can just call you and start talking. You are talking with the person and time is going, and you are leaving out a whole lot of important duties or responsibilities. It's not the best. I know when you are newly engaging in any relationship, you feel like, oh, I'm in love and all of those things, and you just want to give it your all, and you violate, you yourself allow your boundaries to be violated from from physical to intellectual to emotional to time to material to emotional. You just give it all the way out. Now, don't be thinking that if you allow yourself to be violated, if you allow your boundaries to be trespassed in the beginning of whatever relationship, you can redeem it later on. Mostly you don't get it back. Because like I told you, if someone starts disrespecting you and you don't put a stop to it, if someone starts belittling you and invalidating you and you don't put a stop to it, you are rather encouraging it. Okay, they say when you do not rebuke, you condone. Exactly. So I want you to know that these are the types of boundaries we have. And for the traits of boundaries, that is the rigid, the porous, and the healthy boundaries, you can interchange them. So now you can ask yourself, because the reason for this education is to help you to manage and to get to know where you have fallen. So if you were really porous in all of your settings, then you need to up your game to either healthy or rigid. It depends. It depends. Like I told you, you can mix them, but at varying times and situations. Okay, so now you can ask yourself, where am I lacking? Am I a porous boundary? Do I have a porous personal boundary? Do I have a rigid personal boundary? Is it helping me? How can I build? How can I change, reinvent, or recreate my personal boundary so that if I've been treated less, I can start changing that now? And if you see that you have also been a rigid personal boundary trait and it is not giving you the best, you can switch to a healthy boundary trait. so that you can get the best of your relationships. Ladies, are we giving? Are we loving? Are we understanding this? So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I want you to take care of yourself, and if you're not subscribed, kindly do so and like our videos and share. Bye. Are we living? Are we loving?